out. And really, once you notice it, you start seeing
Uh-oh. Chill out. I'm trying to chief and watch a
it
moon
absolutely
video.
everywhere. Sentences that have never been spoken before in human history until now.
Your sperm get crushed by my sperm and his sperm.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. You too old to be talking like a TikTok brain rot. Yeah, I'm sperm maxing. I'm jaw lock maxing, sperm maxing. I'm Giga Chad. So fucking. Look how he laughing.
The course sellers, the rich pretending to be poor,
Oh,
the
these niggas
dropshippers,
corny,
the
man.
fitness influencers, the crypto bros, the van lifers.
LARP.
Because nothing says I love nature
Holy
like
van life.
bulldozing through it with a repurposed tank. This barely scrapes the surface of a LARPing pyramid that extends right from the very bottom to the very top of modern society, where meritocracy is dead, inauthenticity is celebrated, and the idea society relentlessly promotes about being yourself is just a total joke. So we're going to go from the bottom of the pyramid right to the top, starting at level 1, with the workers, the parents struggling to make ends meet, the debt slaves, the consumers, the scrollers, the dreamers, all anguishing to keep up as inner conflict dominates. Most people in level 1 don't even realize they're here, as the hierarchy was built to keep you from breaking free of the role they've scripted for you. The top level, hidden from your view, is perfectly aware of the control they have over you. The messages from the top instruct you to be yourself, bring your whole self, be authentic, show us the real you. Manufactured terms that are thrust in your face everywhere, which is interesting. You can see it quite simply by going on LinkedIn, which officially describes your profile as a landing page where you manage your personal brand while reminding you that authenticity is key. Dating apps constantly enforce how it's essential to stay true to yourself before immediately telling you to optimize your dating profile until the authentic you is performing competitively against all the other authentic people in the same line. You can't escape it, and it's a painful thing, being torn between different versions of yourself. It's why your day-to-day just feels like you're constantly LARPing. But things get a little crazier in level 2.
I ain't gonna lie. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy when I say this, but doing content creation is a good way to solidify your identity. Because first it's gonna teach you to detach from your human vessel, like your human meat suit and who you think you're perceived to be. Because when you get millions of people giving opinions, like it's so many people that got opinions on me or perspectives on me just off of one video or maybe 100 videos, but the way they view me is not even the way I view myself. And the way I view myself right now is not the same way I viewed myself 6 years ago. You know? Now, there is elements that's still there for me 6 years ago, but I'm just saying, like, we all evolve and things change, and the same opinions that you'll have against somebody else, they have them opinions against you. The same opinions that somebody has, the same insecurities they have within themselves, you'll have the same ones. You're like, oh, I thought I was the only one going through that. So it breaks you out of your matrix, and it allows you to solidify in the identity of we are human beings at the end of the day. And brains can be programmed, and depending on where you at, your environment, and what your interests, that's who you are. No cap.
Level 2 LARPing in the pyramid is where you've got a job, maybe a partner, and can finally take some risks. But the middle classes are a strange place to be. It's basically purgatory. Some are genuinely moving up a level, others are faking their place entirely. The classic Trustafarian middle class hippie types that are desperate to look poorer than they are. The van lifers are a perfect example. Let's say you decide you want to escape modern society, so you pack your life into a van and drive off towards the sunset in the hope you'll eventually find yourself. The cognitive dissonance of this lifestyle exposes itself pretty mildly at first. The vans at least began as a wholesome DIY creation designed for genuine off-grid living, but it started to evolve into something uglier as the whole space became over-competitive and monetized for the algorithm. The culture then became an aesthetic, which is basically the shorthand for something real killed by social media. Kids got paraded as props while their parents posed for lucrative photo shoots and lined up tens of thousands of dollars in endorsements a month.
I'm about to say, then they go buy the house in 2 years. The van life influencer, 30 days. Nigga, 2 years later, I just bought my first $2.5 million house.
They've now taken it to the next level with massive deck.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. This is fucking insane. This better than my house. Van life voyage 8x8 beast. That motherfucker got 2 stories, it look like. That's a crib. And it look like it can't be moved. Like, You shoot an RPG at that bitch, nigga still sleep in that joint.
Our ex-military vehicles that cost more than a house, which is really
Jesus
ironic when you
Christ.
think this was a movement about minimalistic living and now people are spending millions of dollars on it. This video is sponsored by Merlin AI,
Merlin.
an all-in-one AI tool. And before I show you what it does, they gave us a really substantial discount exclusively for you guys. So I'll show you how to claim this in a minute. But one thing I've noticed over the last year is that AI has become incredibly fragmented. One model is better at research, another is better at writing, another is better at coding or reasoning. And so before long, you've got 5 different tabs open, multiple subscriptions, which is why I've been using Merlin AI. It puts the major models, including ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and more into one place. So I can simply choose whichever model fits the task instead of jumping between different websites. For example, if I'm researching a topic like this video, I can open the Merlin extension and ask it to summarize the page I'm reading, and then switch on the deep research to pull together a structured report using multiple sources. If I need images or even AI generated video, that's also built in too. It fits into my workflow instead of forcing me to change it, where it's $20 a month for ChatGPT, another $20 for Claude, and another $20 for Gemini.
I just realized this is an ad. This gotta be an ad right here. This gotta be an ad. But I ain't gonna lie, I ain't like Agent. That boy, Agent,
Running clubs and bars.
He know how to skip them implemented ads, cause you know I got premium. But boy, he just caught me slipping. I'm gonna be on it though. I'm gonna start getting better with the snipe. If I'm watching, if I'm paying full attention, I'm gonna snipe it, but I'm trying to edit the thumbnail and do it at the same time.
And only self-improvement clubs like the Bali Time Chamber. Others evolved into hippie Barbies covered in plastic, claiming they've escaped the Matrix by becoming OnlyFans models.
And I was like, OnlyFans? What's that? I had to do the hard thing and break out of the Matrix. I never thought I would like be a stripper or anything, but I was like, you know, I want to make a lot of money.
Or there's the other side of the spectrum, the trad wives and the ranch living people who all fell victim to the same scheme. You see it yourself when you click through a few bios, like this woman who offers an £85 a month Royal Academy of Biblical Wifery. And then there's always the ones who use the trend to promote their other businesses. There is a reason why escaping the Matrix has become a lucrative market in the first place, because the classic level 2 LARPing middle classes have become increasingly performative to the point where millions of people spend most of their waking lives pretending what they're doing is far more useful than it really is. David Graeber called most jobs bullshit jobs, meaning jobs that don't appear to make a contribution to society, and split them into these great categories. The middle managers are the worst. They're usually perfectly reasonable people, but the things they sometimes have to do are just incredibly evil. They're deciding whether to poison the lakes and rivers nearby to make these products that are filled with toxic chemicals that poison their customers, or introducing new predatory practices to milk their customers dry, because this is what performance asks of them. The old idea behind this was that you fake it until you make it, right? And it's all just a means to an end. But we now know that's completely false. You simply just creep further up the pyramid, where the performance gets grander, the stakes get higher, and pretending becomes even more ridiculous. Now we're gonna go up a level to level 3. The alpha males, the fake rich, the core sellers, the drop shippers, the Instagram models, the OnlyFans girls, and the lifestyle hustlers. If you've been online for the last few years,
hey, on God, this finna get deep. Let me give some water real quick.
so you probably can't avoid them. They plague the feed and soak up all the signal they can get. A few years back there was Luke Belmar, who used to run a paid community called Capital Club that taught young men how to find this level. In his mind, he's already there and everyone else is beneath him.
If I go broke today, I can make $1 million next week. I have a 9-figure community, so I have a 200,000 person wait list to join Capital Club.
He'll never disclose what he's worth or what he actually earns. He has an unfalsifiable fortune with a mysterious family backstory. He'll then tell you he's rich and explain that proving it would be spiritually irresponsible.
I will never disclose how much I'm worth because I've learned a lot about how Asians move with regards to money. Money's energy.
Yeah.
And the moment you begin to expose that energy, right, people start to understand how powerful or how weak you truly are.
But he will boast he can get anyone to simply lend him $1 million in liquid cash.
How many people can you call up and be like, yo, can you wire me $1 million? I'll send you. I'm good for it. Oh, you don't have those friends? I do. So I can tell you it's real.
Yeah, because you're in a secret society, bro. Because you're in some type of cult brotherhood. Stop playing, bro. If you ain't an agent or I don't have, okay. If you build your wealth and you start to have people in your phone that you could call for $1 million, it might make sense if y'all made $1 million together, but why would somebody give you $1 million if y'all ain't made money together. Okay, let's just say you got a good business, you build your connections up, cool. But Luke Ballmar, like I don't know, his net worth is probably 30 million. You don't know his net worth, but like, bro, like niggas be talking about networking but don't be having no business. Like, this sounds good, but you're already up. You already have money. You already have businesses. It's not like, oh yeah, I could just call them for $1 million because I like, bro, I don't know why niggas be talking like this. By the time you get to the point where you can borrow $1 million, you don't need it, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh no, there's no way that. That's because you're a peasant.
Ali Sob sells the same lifestyle without even bothering about the pretense of a business behind it. Nobody's ever said move like you're undeniable to another human being. It's really difficult to even find out who he is, apart from he owns a couple of restaurants in Michigan. His claim to realness is constantly pleading how he's not another fake influencer.
Sorry, Mr. Soul. These influencers, they're trying to get a McLaren for 3 months. 3 of them to rent.
Then there's his rival, King Azuli, and the feud between them exists purely as content, when they're really just scratching each other's backs in their little alpha male LARP bubble. He talks about
all that shit is content. I realized that when I went to Digital Social Hour and did that debate with all that shit be content, bro. It's all content. Bro, Sean Kelly said it himself, bro. He said, if y'all don't argue and debate, it's not gonna go up. If y'all not arguing, it's not gonna go up. If y'all ain't arguing, it ain't gonna go up. This is what he said. Okay. Shout out to Vamp, man.
About how you read someone by what they dress up as on Halloween.
How do I read a woman's personality when I start dating her?
That's very simple. All you have to do is ask her if she's ever been to a Halloween party. You see, in Halloween, people pretend to dress up, but they truly dress up as who they truly are. For example, me, every single Halloween party that I ever dressed up, I dressed up as a superhero. I was either Batman, Superman, Hercules.
His backstory doesn't even survive 10 seconds of attention. He's fought off 40 people, spent over a decade in counter-terrorism, and he might also be the only guy on Earth who speaks a forbidden language, which doesn't sound very useful.
For the unit that I worked in, it's called a clear unit. Clear means that there's no name, you don't know anything, you don't know anybody. This unit does not exist.
I speak 5 languages. I speak Hebrew fluently, English, Russian, and Spanish, and one more that I can't speak about.
Andy Elliott's angle is sales. He says $100,000 a month is the absolute minimum and constantly encourages materialism, but was then spotted in economy class. His brand is individualism on steroids.
You saving that nigga said I'm for what?
And constantly encourages materialism, but was then spotted.
Hey, he living out here too in Arizona, bruh. He like, hold on, wait. I bought your course. You said to never fly economy. Wait, he like, wait, I bought your course.
In economy class. His brand is individualism on steroids, and getting a bunch of other men to wear his name on their t-shirts, while ripping off other men's clothes on stage, all because he doesn't hire people who don't have 6-packs. Yet even with this, he folds into the same level 3 as everyone else on this tier, and you can barely tell him apart from all the others. In fact, there's so many other people just like him, we could be here all day talking about it. But really, there's just one mission that dominates everyone on this level of the pyramid, making sure to click the link in their bio. And honestly, if you look at anyone online who's often an alpha male or financial guru, you'll find out they either inherited the money or are just a complete psychopath. The same thing seems to happen to all these influencer educators. Paul Saladino built nearly 3 million followers as Carnivore MD, all from his book arguing that plants are actively harmful to you. Then his health collapsed on his own diet, heart palpitations, wrecked sleep, low testosterone, and now he eats around 300 grams of carbs a day from
I added fruit and honey in my diet. All right. I told you I've been vegan, plant-based for 6 years, bro. I still eat tofu sometimes. I'm not over extreme with my shit. I say I eat tofu every week. It's implemented in my diet. I know might not be the healthiest or anything, but it's good. But I'm not finna doctor, oh yeah, I'm vegan. I gotta be super extreme. Don't ever eat meat again. Don't get me wrong, I don't eat meat. I don't eat that stuff, but I'm not like, oh yeah, you can't eat that. Like, everybody's diet is different. Like, it be people, when I used to make a lot of plant-based content, meat-based, I'm meat-based and I love meat. It's just like, bro, like, relax. Like, enjoy your meat, gang.
Fruit and honey.
After 2 years of a ketogenic carnivore diet.
That boy looks alive again. He start eating them fruits and activate it up. All right, y'all keep playing. I'm fruits.
Meat, organs, fat, and salt. I quit.
You might even see him sometimes in the supermarket topless saying stuff like this.
People often ask me if I use deodorant
They
in
pay
these
him for
pits. Absolutely not. There's no reason for me to use garbage deodorant with parabens and phthalates, fake scents, and aluminum in my armpits.
Or one-upping you on your semen quality.
You can't even make babies with a girl right now.
I can.
You cannot make babies with a girl. HCG and no, bro. Your sperm get crushed by my sperm and his sperm.
There's nothing wrong with changing your mind based on the evidence, but what happened to the value of uncertainty? Does everything you believe have to be packaged into a claim you thrust onto other people to sell and make money from? Level 3 is packed with these kinds of gurus you're probably very familiar with already. In fact, we did an entire video about fake gurus before, because it's really difficult to avoid them, and any engagement or mention of them just helps them further, as even negative interactions and criticism factor into the whole performative lie, which is actually something we're going to see a lot more of on the upper levels, like level 4, the political pundits, the culture warriors, the TV hosts, brand avatars, and celebrity CEOs, everyone with established public personas. Obtaining success is not necessarily the issue anymore, it's all about leverage and compounding what you have by expanding your platform and influencing others. Talking of which, I know it's ironic, but this channel is a small team of real writers, actual people doing actual research.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, Moon. You a part of the agenda. You an agent. No, I was playing. Yo, your channel's so good, Moon. You gotta be an agent too. You get too many views. No cap.
Spending weeks on scripts.
My connection is terrible right now. Okay, it's going back and forth. I hope I ain't been lagging, but I'm gonna post it anyway. I'll take a sure of
this one, and we're really just saying, can you check if you're subscribed to the channel? Sometimes YouTube will just unsubscribe you super randomly, and we don't even know why. If not, can you hit subscribe, as it just really helps us out. It just takes a second, and it really does make a big difference, so I really appreciate it. Let's get back into the video. Now, one of the key guys on level 4 is Kevin O'Leary, who calls himself Mr. Wonderful. If that doesn't tell you what he is, here he is bawling his eyes out over a Rolex.
I was weeping. It was mine. I own it. I have that piece.
Bearing in mind he wears gold suits everywhere and already has 2 watches in each wrist, Tucker Carlson attracts his own fair share of criticism, having flip-flopped between pro and anti-establishment viewpoints, not to mention his weird connections to Peter Thiel. But he does ask Kevin O'Leary some great questions in this interview, like why taxpayers need to pick up the bill for the AI data centers destroying their backyards.
But why, if it's such a good business, would you be asking taxpayers to help pay for it without giving them equity in the company? Are you giving taxpayers shares?
No, the investors get the shares. By building a data center that trains AI, that provides productivity to the entire nation, we create millions of jobs, high-paying jobs.
So AI is going to create jobs?
Yes.
I thought it was going to eliminate jobs, net.
He can't get his story straight throughout this entire conversation. The AI situation is the peak example of how the LARP situation has penetrated the economy itself, because it's both an apocalypse in the making and the savior of humanity. It's creating jobs and money while simultaneously hoovering them all up. The CEOs concede it's a bubble, but they'll just keep shoveling money into it. Literally anything that keeps the money flowing into their companies. Kevin, like so many others in this position, was actually a terrible business person who sold his business at an inflated price back in the 90s, and then faced allegations around altering accounting records to make it look more valuable than it was. In fact, he was even exposed in 2011 by the Globe and Mail with the headline, "He's not a billionaire, he just plays one on TV." His net worth has obviously increased since then, but has his wisdom, or just his fame and platform? You notice how they're always role-playing for the free market capitalist vibe until the very moment they need the government to give them massive tax breaks. You can see how level 4 is where business and influence begin to collide, and journalists with mega-sized platforms like Piers Morgan enter the arena, taking whichever side he believes will give him moral virtue and clicks, with no other belief system than to be pro-establishment, or as some people might call them, controlled opposition assets. You see, Piers rose to fame as a journalist with an uncanny habit of getting extraordinarily lucky at the exact right moment. He won Celebrity Apprentice in 2008, admitting he behaved the way Trump wanted him to behave. He nurtured that friendship while it benefited him, but dumped it when that stopped. He mentored under Rupert Murdoch, doing whatever he said to get the clicks, and then stabbed him in the back by joining his competitor. He'll criticize any celebrities for clout that he once was very good friends with. He'll say things one day and then take it back the next. Like that time he spent days raging about vegan sausage rolls as another symptom of the PC ravaged world, even spitting one out on television.
It's nicely flavoured. That's a good look, Piers.
A year later, he admits he doesn't really care that much, he was just bored out of his brains and loved the controversy. Or he'll tell you that you deserve to die if you didn't get the COVID vaccine and then completely walk it back years later. He just did a complete U-turn on Fauci, once saying he was an impressive man, now saying he's a fame-hungry narcissist. Again, people should change their minds based on the evidence, but that is not what Piers does. Unlike the level 3s who change their mind based on what sells, he changes his mind based on ideology, or more specifically, the ideology that's going to win him more popularity in the short term. He makes the process painfully obvious, but he's hardly unique. Once somebody becomes famous enough, the public version of them starts taking a life of its own. Steve Jobs became the black turtleneck genius who personally willed the future into existence. Richard Branson became the permanently grinning adventure entrepreneur. The Rock somehow evolved from a wrestling character into a motivational corporate organism who was simultaneously an actor, tequila salesman, fitness guru, and human franchise. Mr. Beast became the permanently astonished philanthropist, branding everything from giving away houses to curing blindness. He changes his mind based on ideology, or more specifically, the ideology that's going to win him more popularity in the short term. He makes the process painfully obvious, but he's hardly unique. Once somebody becomes famous enough, the public version of them starts taking a life of its own. Steve Jobs became the black turtleneck genius who personally willed the future into existence. Richard Branson became the permanently grinning adventure entrepreneur. The Rock somehow evolved from a wrestling character into a motivational corporate organism who was simultaneously an actor, tequila salesman, fitness guru, and human franchise. Mr. Beast became the permanently astonished philanthropist, branding everything from giving away houses to curing blindness with the same wide-eyed thumbnail face that never changes. At that point, the word fake is not enough. Their true selves are copied, repeated, and detached from their original, until eventually the copy takes over and inhabits the real thing. This happens all of the time in Hollywood, claiming countless celebrities who turned into a parody of their old selves, becoming just horribly unrecognizable. So let's creep up the LARPing pyramid beyond to level 5, where the performance gets less numerous and more out of touch with the rest of the structure below. This is the tier of institutional influence and new money dynastic wealth, where power begins to move in smaller circles. Bill Gates spent years building a nice guy dad image that helped him export his questionable foundation worldwide, all while secretly ruling tech with an iron fist. But he's never lifted a finger like a normal person all their lives, and probably thinks that makes him look innocent.
Tide Pods, you've been hearing a lot about those lately. What do you think?
$4.
$19.97.
I'll go with 22. No, 15.
After the Epstein files, Gates then testified in front of the House Oversight Committee, admitting meeting Epstein was a grave error of judgment, and saying Epstein had tried to use his infidelities to pressure him back into contact, and even using his previous marriage as the perfect image of the sweet old Gates couple, all while Epstein was writing about some of Gates' alleged behavior. When you're at this level, the stakes flip. The aim now is just to look normal. You want to look more relatable, desperately pretending to be working class and just an average Joe.
I never growing up had anything designer. You know, my mom wouldn't let me. I think I got my first pair of Louboutins when I graduated high school.
We're very working. Oh my God. Oh my God, poor you. You had to pick up your first Louis Vuitton when you graduated high school. Oh my God, the struggle you went through. Oh no. Shut up, bitch.
Awesome.
Be honest.
I am being honest. Alright, it's not a simple answer because...
What did you get your dad to drive?
It depends.
No.
Okay, in the 80s, my dad had a Rolls Royce.
There's some blatantly scripted and frankly weird strategies to look down to earth, like Hillary Clinton and Mark Zuckerberg all making Source their key to universal relatability. Zuck loves his Source so much that he uses it as the bookend on his shelf. He's always struggled to LARP as a normal person until recently when he came on Theo Von's podcast with a reformed look, and you'd have to admit
No way! That nigga threw on a gold chain with the glasses. That don't even look like the same dude. That ain't Mark Zuckerberg. Ain't no way. That's a regular white boy. This ain't that other Mark Zuckerberg. That nigga was a clone. Came out the lab.
Seemingly self-aware.
You seem like a guy who probably like watched a video of how to be a guy on YouTube or something, you know? Is it interesting that they have kind of people who would probably self-describe as socially awkward at times, kind of creating technology that socially connects people?
Yeah, I'm like the most awkward person. People have been calling me a robot online for 20 years. It does wonders for my confidence.
He built the platform that forces everybody else to perform and still can't fit into the society he helped create, which exposes the rift between the people who designed the pyramid and the level 1, 2s, and 3s forced to live inside.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That shit is crazy. Like, niggas be calling him reptilian, robot. He like, bro, I'm just the guy that created Facebook. I'm just a guy. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never think about it like that. Like, at the end of the day, that nigga is just a like a dude, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's a reptilian. Oh my god. Like, bro, he probably be like, damn, this what y'all gonna do after I make the app for y'all? But we know, like, come on, bro. Mark Zuckerberg, man, like, your bloodline needs to be studied, man.
These are the people paying off the level 4s to perform to the lower levels, and yet they often don't live like any of us. In fact, these people don't even often use the internet. They ban their kids using iPads. They cover up their webcams. They hide away in retreats and bunkers. They come off awkward because they don't know how to relate to a regular person. They're the ones designing the entire ecosystem below them, the ones who profit from a LARPing society. Everyone below is performing full-time in a system those same people designed, tested, and then declined to use. At level 5, the other curiosity is that despite massive influence, the LARP hides someone's true background. Now, we could be here all day talking about billionaires hiding their background, but one of the most obvious LARPers has to be Sam Altman, who has no computer science degree, dropped out of Stanford, and whose only company before OpenAI was a location-sharing app called Looped, whose own board tried to remove him as CEO twice before selling. He was then also fired from OpenAI's board, and investigations consistently name how he built a career on the habit of lying and manipulating. The smoking gun claim when a former board member said, Altman believes the shifting realities of his sales pitches as he's saying them. He told Congress under oath in 2023 that he had no equity in OpenAI and earned a modest salary.
Make a lot of money, do you?
No. I paid enough for health insurance. I have no equity in OpenAI.
Really? Yeah. That's interesting. You need a lawyer.
I need a what?
You need a lawyer or an agent.
I'm doing this because I love it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
But was soon photographed with a $500,000 watch riding around in supercars worth millions of dollars.
Do you know Sam Altman? He's always the head of OpenAI.
Yeah.
He's always kind of said, I'm not doing this for money. I don't make any money. And they just busted him in a $4 million bonus egg.
They did?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Then again, the very concept of the CEO is enough to leave you doubtful, as this is basically a PR role without its
not doing it for money, I just have all of it.
Status and wealth. A CEO's charisma has been shown to have no relationship to company performance, but it does have a very strong relationship to how much the CEO was paid. So the CEO's performance naturally benefits the CEO and no one else. But there are levels of power above level 5. So it's time we look at the ultimate LARPers in our society, the people hiding away at the top that are secretly pulling the strings for all of us, which is a difficult thing to uncover because real power is hidden by the LARPing. It becomes harder and harder to tell where one institution ends and the next one starts, with the heavyweights veering between governments, the UN, the World Economic Forum, suspicious NGOs, and every other supranational group you can imagine. Although the British royal family is a really great place to start because even the name is a roleplay. They were the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha until George V rebranded the family with the exceedingly British surname of Windsor, because being visibly German and supportive of the Nazis became rather inconvenient during a war with Germany. In 2005, the future King Charles was caught saying this in a photo op.
Bloody brilliant. I got better.
Whilst also pretending to be a man of the common people, just happily walking around with no security.
You're being left to walk and everyone else is...
Oh yeah, but I like my walking.
And you kinda gotta say fair play to him. Enforcing aristocratic superiority with a straight face in the 21st century takes a hardcore level of commitment. At level 6, you already have the money and the power. Now you have to perform this idea that you've earned it, and that the arrangement granted to you is in everyone else's interest. Take the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab ran it for over 50 years. His wife became deeply involved in the organization, his son ran its Beijing operation, and his daughter ended up on the executive committee running its Young Global Leaders program, which they claim is where the next generation of world leaders are selected on merit. Though Schwab himself let slip a slightly different description.
When I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
We penetrate the cabinets. An incredible sentence when your organization already gets accused of being an unelected club trying to influence governments. Schwab was eventually replaced as chairman of the World Economic Forum by our channel favorites man, Mr. Larry Fink of BlackRock, and Andre Hoffman, the great-grandson of the man who founded Roche in 1896, which is one of the most powerful family-owned businesses in the world, with a personal worth of over $9 billion. So if you want to know how concentrated money and power are at the top, consider how the 500 largest family-controlled businesses on Earth turn over $8.58 trillion a year. If you line them up as a country, they'd be the third largest economy in the world, behind the US and China. Powerful families then meet in powerful clubs hidden away from the disgusting public, where the dynasties within your country are controlled without any vote, or without—
Wait, we gotta go back. I seen a couple black faces. Hold on. That's somebody's uncle right there. Look at my pointer. Cause I'm like, okay, you could say some of these might be African leaders. They got every bro. Every single race and every single group of people has their handler. And they in some type of Tartarian building.
Without any vote, or without any transparency or even any recording of what actually happens there. They then decide what the LARPers will be saying to the masses, trying to see how they can craft new narratives for more control.
That's a good world stage picture right there, boy.
We've had a very small glimpse of networks that lie behind the curtain with the Epstein situation, but just consider how that is the tip of an iceberg within an iceberg that extends to depths barely a soul on the planet registers. That reality then destroys this whole meritocracy LARP modern nations love to brag about today. The idea that everyone gets a fair shot, talent rises, and if you just believe in yourself enough, you'll get to the top. You'll rise up the pyramid with all the other LARPers. That is the final level of this pyramid, where the people at the top are constructing the LARP for all of us, where everyone clawing up from level 1 is forced to play the role of one individual while hiding another. Everyone is constantly auditioning for their role in this pyramid. Go to school and hire—
That's why I don't care about followers, none of this. I do social media to try to earn some glitch fiat, because we need the fiat currency. If I can help people on the internet, that's cool, but I'm not on here like, yeah, I'm waking people up and I'm rising and I'm helping y'all. Oh, on the platforms that they created? Oh yeah, you just super righteous, huh? Oh, you just super on point and all that, you got everything figured out. You're on level 1, buddy. Even if you get to level 2, level 3, they own you. They control what you finna finesse. You think you finna finesse to the top of to the black nobility? Learn all this information for yourself. Learn these things so you can know how to go about so you learn these things so you can detach from these stuff, from this world. You know, like, I'm not gonna lie to you.